Good morning, guys. How you guys doing? Today I will be going over the IDOR, IDOR, room on Tryhackme that is part of the junior penetration testing path. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into that. I'll be using my other screen on the right side, so that's why I'm kind of looking away from the camera. So I hope that is okay with you guys. I've already started um, the room. So most of the task is just reading, honestly, and you guys could definitely go ahead and do that by yourself. But for the sake of making this video, I'll just go ahead and read it along with this video, and then do the practical IDOR example at the end of the task, which is task 7, and we'll wrap up right here. So what is the IDOR or IDOR? The IDOR is it stands for Insecure Direct Object Reference, and is a type of access control vulnerability. That is a type of vulnerability that can occur when a web server receives user supplied input to retrieve objects, for instance, files, data, or documents, and then too much trust has been placed on the input data, and that it's not validated on the server side to confirm the requested object belongs to the user requesting it. Input data, and then that's not being validated, so uh, it would it would just give it the information back to the requester without making sure that or without authenticating the user input data. That's kind of what the idea is. So, first question is, what does IDOR stand for? That is insecure direct object reference. An IDOR example. Imagine you've just signed up for an online service. You want to change your profile information. The link you click on goes to HTTP online service profile user ID 1305. You can see your information. Curiosity gets the better of you, and you try to change the user ID value to 1000. And instead, it would be user ID equals to 1000. And you surprise and to your surprise, you can now see another user's information. You have now discovered an IDOR vulnerability. That this was what I was talking about earlier. And then so let's go ahead and try that out. So for instance, for this one, we have emails. Click through the emails below and try to identify URL that looks like it could be a potential vulnerable to IDOR attack. So let's go ahead and click on that. That is just a link going to onlinestore.thm. Definitely not it. This could be it. You can view your invoice by clicking the link below, and if we click on it, we have order number 1234. Well, so if we change the URL right here, and instead of 1234, if we change it to 1000, it will give us somebody else's information. If we click on it, boom, we have the order 1000, which costs $30, and we get the flag Tryhackme door vuln found. Okay, and that's pretty much what the IDOR is. Encoded IDs. When passing data from page to page, either by post data, query strings, or cookies, web developers will often first take the raw data and encode it. So encoding ensures that the receiving web server will be able to understand the content. Encoding changes binary data into ASC to Y string, commonly using the A to Z on 09, 0 to 9 character for padding. The most common encoding technique on the web base is base 64. Encoding can usually be pretty easy to spot. You can usually use websites base64decode.org to decode whatever we have, and then we could then edit that data and then re-encode it using the base64encode.org, which is this helpful link right here. Make sure you have these saved for future references, and then you could resubmit the request to get the ID. So for instance, if you um, decode this right here, it will give you ID equals to 30. And then you could tamper with this information, and instead of ID 30, make it ID 10. And then you encode it using this website right here. And then once you encode it, it will give you this value, and then you will put this value on the request, and then you'll get ID equals to 10 information instead of the original request of ID equals to 30. That is pretty much what the idea is, and this is base 64. What's the question? What's the common type of encoding used by websites? That is base 64. On hashed IDs, I hope you guys understand what hashing is and how it works. Hashed ID is a little bit more complicated to deal with than encoded ones, but they may follow a predictable pattern, such as being hashed version of the integer value. For example, the ID number 123 would become 202. It's a long number. That is the hash value. There's different type of hash algorithm that we could follow. One of them, I think the most common one is MD5. That is, what was it? Media Digest or something like that. But MD5 hashing, if we use MD5 hashing and to hash 123 or 123, it will give you this value. So it's worthwhile to putting any discovered hashes through web service such as crackstation.net. If you go on this, there are so many already been well already discovered hashes that we could use. For instance, if we go ahead and try to get the value of this right here, it better give us 123. I'm not a robot. Come on. And if you crack the hashes, boom, the type is MD5 and the result is 123. And it was so quick, not even a second it took. I will definitely get it. What is a common algorithm used for? That is MD5. And then finding IDOR. IDOR is unpredictable IDs. So for unpredictable IDs, if the ID cannot be detected using the above method, then a next method of IDOR detection is to create two accounts and swap the ID number between them. If you can view the other user's content using their ID while still being logged in with a different account, then you have found a valid IDOR vulnerability. So for this one, if you if you create two accounts on Tryhackme, well, not Tryhackme, but I'll show you guys on this example. Then this is just to make sure that your website or your server does not have IDOR vulnerability. So you probably wouldn't get somebody else's or some certain person's information through the IDOR vulnerability, but you will make sure that the web server or the website does not have IDOR vulnerability with this method. And the minimum number of accounts you need is 2, so you could actually get the both ID number, and then you could just switch it between those accounts, those logged accounts, to check if there's an IDOR vulnerability. Where are IDORs located? So the vulnerable endpoint you are targeting may not always be something you see in the address bar, like this right here. It could be content. It could be content your browser loads in via an IDAX request or something that you find referenced in a JavaScript file. Sometimes endpoints could have an referenced parameter that may have been of some use during development and got pushed to production. For example, you may notice a code to user details, user-details, user/details, displaying your user information, which is the authenticated through your session. But through an attack known as parameter mining, you will discover a parameter called user ID that you can use to display other users' information. For instance, you could use user details. This is user ID equals to 123, and you would just change these numbers to get other people information using the IDOR vulnerability. And last but not least, yeah, it's probably the last one. This is the most practical IDOR example. Let's go ahead and open the website that we have been given. This right here, click on it, you will get a new website. The first thing they will ask us to do is first, you will need to log in to do this. Click on the customer section and create an account. Once logged in, click on the your account tab. Let's go ahead and go to customers. We don't have no account, so we could sign up. Our username will be Johnny. Our email address will be Johnny at Tryhackme.com. Our password, Johnny. I shouldn't be telling y'all my password, Johnny. An account with the username already exists. I think I did worked on that earlier. That's why Johnny1. Email address is Johnny1 at Tryhackme.com. I couldn't type because my microphone is right in front of my face, so bear with me. I know the password is really bad. That's why I'm getting those notifications. And then we go to my account, and it is already pre-filled, my username and my email address. We have a feature to change the password. So we go back, and we'll start by investigating how this information gets pre-filled. So your account section gives you the ability to change your information, such as a username, email address, and password. You'll notice the username and email fields pre-filled in with your information, which is right here, pre-filled already, since they already have my information. We'll start by investigating how this information gets pre-filled. So if you open your browser developer tool, select the network tab, and then refresh the page, you will see a code to an endpoint with the path API v1 customer ID. Boom, with customer ID, with the given customer ID. So let's go ahead and click on that. Let's go ahead and inspect that. Go to network, and we don't have anything, so we just refresh it, and boom. As soon as we click on that, we have this ID, which is equal to 16. I hope they are talking about this right here. Customer ID 16. The endpoint with path. So when you go on response, they already have my ID, Johnny1 at Tryhackme.com. That's the email that is already pre-filled. I was trying to change this to different ID, but I'm not being able to change these up. I'm not sure what is going on with that. I've been trying a lot, but I've not been able to change the value of the ID. I have no idea what is going on. But I found some other methods, so we will be using that one. So for customer ID equals to 16, let's go ahead and we have the ID 16. I won't be able to change it. I'm not sure why. It's not letting me change it. So instead of that, you know what we will be doing? The request URL is this right here, this given URL with the ID 16. We don't really see it here since we've already been logged in. We're already in session, I think. So we will just paste that, and then we will just change the ID to a different ID right here. So what are they looking for? So you can try testing this ID parameter for an IDOR vulnerability by changing the ID to another user's ID. Try selecting user's ID 1 and 3, then answer the question below. So let's go ahead and ID is equal to 1 and see what that will give us. Boom. So now we have user name Adam84, email is Adam84, and that ID is 1. So we could try to log in with this username and this email. and I don't know how the heck we will get the email address. But even this right here is a lot of information that has been given out because of the IDOR vulnerability. And we could click on this one right here and then change this to 3, and boom, now we have John 91.1, two different users with ID 3, here ID 1, and ours was ID 16. So user ID 1, we have user ID Adam 84, and 84, and that was the email address for the user ID 3. User ID 3 email address is j.fakemail.thm, and it's pretty much what the IDOR vulnerability is. I was trying to get it done under 18 minutes, so it's not that bad. But till I see you in the next room, peace out. Let me know if you guys want me to go over any different room or anything like that.